Spirit,
You better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate,
Hey.
activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit, activate.
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot.
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit,
You
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot.
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit,
You
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You
Hold
cannot.
on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit,
You
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hi. I was coming. You guys are so impatient. I was coming, and I have to verify some stuff. God, I'm like, I'm coming. Y'all want to chat like, what? Okay. Love you guys. Okay, I love you guys. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Okay. Okay. Y'all done ran up in here. Sorry, there were 400 of y'all in the building. Okay. We haven't even been live 5 minutes. Okay. Shout out to y'all for running up in here. Okay, B. Marie. I see you putting the chat did. That's why I was wondering why you was late. Because I hit it early. Still didn't change nothing. Now, I love you guys. Okay. I'm always late, but I'm worth it. Okay. Shout out to Teresa Brown. Thank you so much, your girl, for being a member. And I'm a girl. Yes, time is flying. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, whatever. Okay. I love you guys. YouTube says we can come when we want. Okay. YouTube said it's like church. Come as y'all. Get here when you get here. Okay. So that's what that word. That's what that word. Okay. So I have to hold on real quick. I have to grab something. Okay, really quick.
You better get him, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get him, Lord.
activate,
Hey.
activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey. Hey.
Activate.
My charger. See, I told you it would be really quick. I just need to grab my charger. So, and oh my girl. So yeah, I love you guys. So welcome back to my show, the Shine Debbie Way Show. The title says Breaking News. Christopher Brian Stokes. Yes, I'm going to use your whole name. Why not? Christopher Brian Stokes, and my girl, fiance leaves him after Monyee, his ex-wife, exposed that he gay with Marcus Houston, and my girl. So shout out to Teresa for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I really appreciate you. Thank you, girl. So y'all, what? It happened. My title is true. Again, my title is true. Now, Monyee has certain secrets. Okay, well, not secrets. Well, technically. Okay, secrets to Chris, but not to the world, Craig. Because we already know. And there's a lot of information. So, of course, I brought a lot of information. And along with me bringing information, because, you know, I'm petty, and I'm messy, so it's like, whatever. Chris, you about to get mad. See, Chris, you should have let me come to the wedding. I told you let me come to the wedding. I told you you was gonna regret it, and I told you that this was not it was not a lawsuit threat. I said this is not worthy of a lawsuit, but you're gonna regret it. You're totally gonna regret it. So let's pull this up. Look at here. Boom. Look at here, and I'm my girl. So let's pull this up first. Chris, look, you about to be mad at me. It says April 23rd, 2021, Chris Stokes is engaged. Now, I pulled this up. I use this article because there's other articles that are like 10 times more defined, if you will, about this story. This story was like short-lived. Hold on. Actually, no, I'm messy. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Hold on. I'm sure I still have it because, girl, like, I know my ish. So yeah, let's pull this up. Yeah. Let's pull this up. So this happened. Okay. Real gay. Chris got down on a gay knee, and he said on April 17th, 2021. Okay, because I'm not pulling up the articles and all that, so we're just gonna use this because the articles just use this anyway. So so he says very gay. On April 17th, 2021, I proposed to my forever. Ugh. At Teen Kales. Okay. Now, hold on a minute. Okay. So now Teen Kales is who they're stating right here on April 23rd. Chris Stokes is engaged. The engagement actually happened on the 17th, okay, of April. Very gay. The date is gay, like everything about it is gay. So now Teen Kels is TEEN Now that is one hell of a name. I said not your name Teen and your last name Kels, girl. What the your name is like unfortunate. Your name is unfortunate. I said, shut your mouth and keep on talking. So you got up, okay, that allegedly over there touching on people churn. Okay, Christopher Brian Stokes. You know, let you over there touch on people's children. And your name is Teen Kels. I said, "Ooh, this is a lot. Ooh, this is strange." I said, "Oh my word." I said, "So you literally Teeneen is her name, Teen, and her last name is Kels." I said, "Girl, shut your mouth and keep on talking." And I'm a girl. Okay. So I said, "Ooh, that's one heck of a name." But anyways, let's keep going. Out in this picture is Taz. Okay. Now we talked about Taz a little bit yesterday. This nigga hole right here with this scarf around her. Yes, absolutely. That is Taz the devil. Okay. The literal Tasmanian devil is who that were. And we're gonna get into this devil, and while she don't show herself, then she's gonna try to get dreads like we care. They stink. They stink. They stink. So yeah, I don't like Sonic at all. So we definitely gonna get on Sonic the hedge lesbian. So we're gonna get on her, and that's what that word. That's what the word gonna. But it says, and I'm a girl, that Chris was engaged. Now let me pull that picture back up. I guess I should pull that back up. Why not? I'm being real gay over here on bending knee. Okay, him being real homosexual over here on, you know. So and I'm a girl. So then it says at Chris Stokes 1969. Hashtag Chris Burlesque Stokes. Jehovah is my father. And Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I will follow. Where was they when you was doing this to people churn? You know they was in the room, right? You tried. You know Jehovah was there. Chris. Jehovah was there. Chris. Look at here. Look at here. Yes. Jesus was there. Okay. That's what that word. That's what that word. Getting back into this lie that he done said to this woman. It says, and okay. I will follow them first in this, and I will always follow Bible principles when it comes to you, my queen. My forever is not long enough. Okay, now he said same thing to Monyee. He said the same thing to Monyee. He said the same thing to her. He did. He did. He said the same thing to her. He said the same thing to Monyee. Okay, that's what that word. Now, I was just over here on Teen Kels. Shout out to her. I was just on her Instagram the other day. And while I was on her Instagram the other day, let me pull this up because you know I am nosy. I absolutely am. Now, when you go to her profile now, oh, I'm not following her on this time. I'm my burner one because Chris has me blocked. So I had to go out because whatever. Like you will see me. You will see me try that. So this is her Instagram, and I'm a girl. And if you look down here, and I'm a girl, you ain't gonna see Chris, and I'm a girl. That's what that word. Okay, now you don't have to follow her. These are the same pictures that she has, even if you are following her. I am following her on my Shine Everywhere show, IG, and I'm a girl. And these are the same photos that she has up now. The problem, and people say like, "Oh, well, Sean, how do you know if you have the right person? How do you know if this is the correct team?" Because easily hit tagged. At one point in time, she was tagged to this guy right here. That's her. She deleted all of the pictures of Chris Stokes after Monyee came forth the other day. And I'm my girl. So yeah, I definitely be paying attention and paying attention to teens. Paying attention to her IG now. As you see, look, these are photos that she's tagged in. Okay. These are photos that she's tagged in. Ho, ho, ho. And the only reason they're tagged together because Chris Stokes also removed all tags of her and photos of her. And this is from the Appreciates Christafina. Christafina, this is an alleged fan page. I'm like, who has a fan page of our Twitter? I'm like, this is not a fan page. This is you. So, yeah. So this, as you see, all of the stuff on here, very gay. This is absolutely very gay. And Chris, stop posing like you are attractive with these apps and stuff changing. You don't look like that. I'm like, ugh, like, why you look like you was born in 96? I'm like, oh, very gay. Like, girl, you don't look like that. Like, you don't. We see your unfiltered car off. You're not giving realness. Okay? Tried it. Right? Predator. So, and I'm my girl. So, yeah. So, going back to teen. Let me go back to teen. Let me go back to her. It is over. Chris said his forever queen. They did not get married. Chris is single besides going with Marcus. So women-wise, he's single. Of course, he still goes with Marcus. But beyond him going with Marcus, and my girl, he is single on the women's side. So the beard slot is completely open because as you see, she has no photos of Chris. No photos of Chris. Shout out to my girl Universal TV Marie. Get over there and subscribe to my girl. Love you, girl. Love you, girl. So yeah, she has no photos of Chris, and Chris has none of her. Correct. So it's over. Chris, is this why you blocked me? Or Chris, you need to unblock me. Or you need to unblock me. Chris, is this why you blocked me, girl? Because I sent this to her, girl? I've been in her DMs. I've been in your girl DMs, son. You feel me? I've been hitting up Kels. You talking about, homie? Been beat down your girl block. My dude. And you're mad. And you're upset. I've been in her DM. I've been in her DM. She look good. I've been in her DM. She's hetero. Like, what? Why wouldn't she let me in? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't she let me in? Nigga. So, yeah, you're mad. And you're beige. So, you're upset. Look. I'll holler at both of you. It's fine. Anything to get to the story. Okay? We need the tea. So, y'all can... guys can share me. This is whatever. Just give me the story. Okay? Help me lock you up. Type of situation, Chris. So, now y'all don't go together. Chris, what you do, Chris? Chris, what you do? Why y'all didn't get married? Chris, and I'm a girl. Chris, girl. What happened with Kels? Hold on. Let's pull up Chris. Chris, what happened to our woman? Where our girl go? Hold up. And you better not have blocked me for. Oh, I'm about to say you better not have blocked me for this because I will make another one. So look, that's his mama up there, and we hate her. That's his mama right there, and I hate her. Yeah, we hate your mom. We do. She's a horrible person too. So she is. She absolutely is. So yeah, look, he's just over here being gay. He's just over here being gay. You don't see teen nowhere. He's just over here being gay, and he always like trying to angle. Look how like that picture is filtered to the gods. Look at the sunglasses. Look at Chris. Oh my goodness. Let it go. Bust her down and let her go. Oh my goodness. Look at him out here, y'all gay. Look at him out here. His picture of dogs and stuff. Look, this is a picture that Monyee used. Go on, Monyee, girl. before he blocked her. Go on, Monyee girl. This the picture she used. She said, y'all want a picture to show people that he real sweet. Absolutely. This is the picture she chose. And I'm my girl. So yeah, please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. So yeah, the relationship is over. As you see, hold on, let me keep scrolling. She ain't nowhere to be found. Look at him just out here. I think your sister's pretty, but let's boy it. Look at him. YMCA. Yes, look. YMCA. Yes, look. Look at it. Look at him. It's out there gay. Just like, I could not. And get this damn dog out this bed. And what's wrong with his eyes? Get this slow ass dog out this damn bed. Nah. What's the dog name? Wiley? Maurice? Get this damn dog out this bed. They shed. Get off the bed. Now, and now my girl. What? No, get the dog out the bed. Look, girl. Look. Oh my goodness. Ain't no straight man going this far for no damn picture. Look at this. Very so much giving I'm a pony. Look. Your gay is literally tipping over. Like, AMG. What? Why? Oh my God. This is why she left. This is why she gone. She don't even need to tell us why. I look like this bigger. She don't even need to tell us why. It's girl. Who do all this? Look. Damn, she found out. That's what you did when you heard Monyee was over there on IG spilling the tea. Impressed. So impressed. So I still ain't seen. Do y'all see Teen? I still don't see Teen. Look, y'all see Teen? I don't see Teen. I don't see Teen nowhere. I just see a big breasted gay guy. I still don't see. Girl. So now all of a sudden they're not together anymore. They're not together no more. They never announced the breakup. Nobody ever said they were broken up, or anything like that. As far as we were concerned, Chris Stokes was still engaged to Teen. Clearly, he is not. He absolutely is not. Let's hold on. Let me scroll down. Because I'm gonna pull Teen back up again. Hold on. Actually, let's do his tags because let's just do a bunch of he's there right now. But I'm gonna pull that back up. Yeah, here she is. Here's Teen, beautiful woman. They were engaged as of April 17th, 2021. It is January 2024, and they are no more. They are no more. Only place you're gonna find them is tagged underneath a fan site of alleged the burlester. Here's photos of them, being together. Him over here lying, talking about some say your happiness shouldn't be wrapped in another's. Respectfully, my happiness is synced with my other. This man I can't read that. It's cut heart and with such they intertwine. I can't read the bottom. It's not there. It's not. Yeah. So look at him. See why he look like this in this picture, but then you go over to his IG and they look like, because he got stomach in this picture and everything. Look, he got stomach in this picture and everything, but then you go over to his IG and it look like he got lipo. That's them apps that people use to change their body and their face and, you know, all of that stuff. I'm like, why you look your age over here? Why you look like you were born in 69 over here, but then you go over to yo ish and this YMCA. Look, hold on, hurry up. YMCA. Look, I'm confused. Look, even this one, he even edited this picture. I said, oh my god, you still ugly. Hold on. Girl, you come over here. These edits over here are horrible. You come over here. He look every bit at 32, 33. Who, girl? I'm a pony. I'm a pony. Chris, have you ever swallowed? Chris, serious question.
Would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you
Have you been swallowed? Yes. Yes. Little piece of swallowed. Where your fiance at?
would have been
Has she been swallowed up?
Have you ever been swallowed
I
up?
would have
you gone through a time of
been
swallowing where everything was
swallowed.
overwhelming and you
Where your wife at? Where your wife to be?
swallowed up? Have you ever been
Swallowing up?
swallowed up? Have you
Hetero?
gone through a time of swallowing
would
where everything
have
was
been.
overwhelming? Would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you
Chris, you're gay. I'm moving right along. So let's get into some other tea. So Chris has been pushed down to Tubi for absolutely these rumors going around that he was butt pirates with his own family. So let's get into that. Let's get into how Christopher and my girl is out here still wanting y'all churn. Now Christopher did this movie called Howard High, and he had his big forehead ass daughter Chrissy, non-acting, non-singing. She better trying to sound like Janae. I be like, girl. I'm like, I'm like, Chris, can you go over there and tell your daughter that we said shut the up? Can you go tap Chrissy on her shoulder and go like that? Because she's pretty, but that's about it. Because she's some your words. Oh, oh, oh. I'm like, you know this is trash, right? And then you got the audacity to add auto-tune on it. I said, Chrissy, how dare you? I was like, what the? Give it up, delicious. You still look like a man. No. And then in Howard High, it was kind of like a musical, you know, too. And she. I'm like, you trash. I'm like, girl, this is stupid. Girl, throw your whole roll away. Throw your whole roll away. Because it was trash. Then she did a video. She had J-Boog be her, because you know he's still over there rocking with the Stokes. So she had a J-Booger, over there, because me and J-Boog got into it before. So J-Boog, like, are you scared of you? So yes, you ordered 50 kids you got over there. Like J-Boog, I'm scared of you. Like, oh my goodness, like, girl. I mean, because the thing that gets me with J-Boog is J-Boog act like, let me be quiet, because I go there. I will go there. I will go there. I will say what I said then, and I repeat it, okay? Because J-Boog tried it, okay? And I had to pop him. Is what that were. Is what that were. So anyway, move around. Look at Henny Cake talking about go there. I'll just say this. J-Boog act like he didn't do nothing gay. And that is what gets me. When they were on tour, and the Millennium Tour, the one that they had just done not too long ago, and he was literally on the tour making fun of Ras B because of how Ras B felt when Chris Stokes came. So he's basically making fun of Ras's trauma because he don't look at it as that big of a deal. So I said, look here, J-Boog, just because you didn't mind sucking for a check don't mean everybody else looked at it that way. When Ras B told his original story, you were in it. You were. So I'm like, why are you making fun of him? He even stated in the story that you suck and yours got by a dude, bandmate. So I'm like, why would you make fun of him? Just because you may not view it how he views it, because some men don't. A lot of them don't. They look at it as like, I made the decision. That's their way of taking the power back, making it feel as if it was a business transaction versus to trauma. So for him to make fun of J-Boog, he literally made fun of J-Boog, and Omarion even talked about it in his Omega documentary that he did. Omarion said out of his own mouth, yes, J-Boog was making fun of him for it. I feel like that was disgusting behavior. Coming up and growing up with this dude, like, you know him better than a lot of people. So to do something like that to J-Boog, to me, that made him trash to me. Like, I was already trying to overlook the fact that he still works for Chris Stokes, because even the movie Howard High that I'm talking about right now, J-Boog was in that movie too. J-Boog, Marcus Houston, Chrissy Stokes, all of them were in it. And this is a project that Chris did not too long ago. So it's a few years back, and whatnot. And J-Boog was in it. He played a teacher, and so did Marcus Houston. Marcus Houston is in all pretty much Chris Stokes' productions, but J-Boog was in it too. J-Boog is in the movie Howard High. You can look it up right now. He is in it. He absolutely is. Let me pull up. Hold on. Shout out to Social Butterfly. Thank you so much for the super sticker. She said, go there on Hood. Well, I had an opportunity to say something to J-Boog about that situation, and that's kind of how the conversation went. So, you know, it went like, don't act like you wasn't, you know. I probably should have. I was mad. I was really mad because of how dismissive he was trying to act about it at first. So that like enraged me, because he made it look like it just wasn't a big deal, and he wasn't even apologetic, even still to this day, pretty much about what he said to Ras B. So I feel like that was trash. As a survivor of those things myself, for him to just throw it to the side like that, to me, make it so minimal, and make it look as if literally a friend of yours, someone you grew up with, you're gonna have up and downs with people, bandmates, stuff like, you don't necessarily get to choose the group. You're kind of just in it. So you didn't get to choose the people that, but you got them. It's kind of the same thing with family. You don't necessarily get to choose them, but you got them, so you can choose to love them, or you could choose to, so I feel like that was trash, because he didn't look at it as a big deal. He even made a t-shirt making fun of Ras B. Like, that's how far he took it. I said, wow. I'm like, you took it as far enough to put it on a shirt? I mean, I see just saying it and then apologizing, okay. But both? Like, you took it there. I was like, and they were on tour. And Ras couldn't even say anything. Ras saw it, was very disappointed, and just kind of turned off and walked off. And he was very mad. And Omarion did not agree with that. Omarion did not think that was cool. He disagreed. So that's why I said shout out to Omarion, because Omarion was like, yeah, no, that's not cool. You didn't need to do that. And I don't feel like Lil Fizz I don't feel like he really took a side, but I do think that Lil Fizz agreed with Omarion. It's kind of like, yeah, that's far. Like, you taking it too far. And Ras cried. Like, he was that angry, that he even cried afterwards. So a lot of people thought that Ras was crying over Chris in that moment, because it was even stated while they were on tour, and it wasn't. The reason he cried was because what J-Boog did to him, and there's a little bit of footage of it, and he was very disappointed by that. Like, that's foul, to do. I'm like, and you put it on a shirt, so that means you really thought about this. You really thought about trying to hurt him, trying to make him feel some type of way, which isn't necessary, whether you believe them or whether you don't believe, because everybody's story is different. And again, if J-Boog if he only know about what happened when he was involved, so anything else that was going on, if he didn't see it, meaning, these are the stories that J-Boog is basically making it seem as if he don't care when it comes to Ras, or that's his story against, him type of situation. Because maybe individually, maybe Chris Stokes wasn't doing anything to J-Boog. Maybe he wasn't. So we can't, So J-Boog's probably going by his experience. And Ras B said out of his own mouth that when questioned, did he think that it happened to any of the other members, he said it did. He said, yeah. Like, this person did this person did this person did this to this person. He said, yeah. Like, not, do I think it happened? I know it did. I was there, it was happening right in front of me. I was a part of it as well, so for J-Boog to know what he know and do what he did, all because he wants to save face for Chris Stokes, is disgusting. J-Boog has never had money without Chris Stokes. I mean, let's just keep it froggy. All of his main checks have came from Chris Stokes. The movies he's been in, the music that he tried to do, Chris made sure that J-Boog's music didn't go nowhere. He did that on purpose, literally. Same thing with Lil Fizz, same thing with Ras B. He made sure that their careers didn't go anywhere. When Omarion went, let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. Hold on, because like I said, I just have so much information. Let's. Where is it? Jet. Yeah, let's go to Jet. So yeah, because I go get like the tea, like the tea. So literal old Jet magazine is what we're about to read right now. Shout out again to Social Butterfly. Yeah, y'all. I mean, this runs deep. It runs deep. So let's get into this cover story. B2K hip hop punks tell the real deal behind their breakup. So let's talk about the breakup. All four members granted Jet magazine interviews so that we could find out the real deal behind their breakup. J-Boog, Lil Fizz, and Ras B said that they had severed ties with their management company, The Ultimate Group, which is TUG. We talked a lot about TUG yesterday. or the last live, whose chairman CEO is Christopher B. Stokes. Omarion, the group's lead singer, has remained with TUG. Quote, "We didn't break up, we left management," Chris Stokes says J-Boog. "Omarion decided to stay. We don't want to do business with Chris." Now, this is coming out of J-Boog's mouth when they broke up. J-Boog, you said this 2007, 2008. Well, actually, when, hold on. I like to do actual dates. Oh no, this is just gonna go up higher. Okay, whatever. But I'm sure obviously because they broke up in 2007. So around 2007, 2008 era, J-Boog, you said that you did not want to do business with Chris Stokes. Now, the guys didn't know business. Okay, they thought that they owned the name B2K. They didn't. So when they broke up, that's what they really got to find out, what they were entitled to and what they weren't. So they were still a group. They just couldn't go forward as B2K. They were not allowed to do that without Chris Stokes. No different than like back in the day with Pebbles and TLC. If they didn't have that deal with Pebbles, they would have to change their name. They wouldn't have had a choice leaving the label and management. So it was the same thing with B2K. Omarion stayed at the record label. TUG, he came out with the album, and all of that stuff under Chris Stokes and under Chris Stokes' management. The other guys, Ras B, J-Boog, and Lil Fizz, they stayed together. They were a trio at this time. So they're saying the group is not broken up. We are all still together. We just don't have Omarion. Omarion decided, which J-Boog said, and right here, Omarion decided to stay, but we are still B2K, is what J-Boog said. We don't want to do business with Chris Stokes, is what J-Boog said. Mighty weird. Saying one making t-shirts defending Chris Stokes. Mighty weird. Omarion decided to stay. We don't want to do business with Chris. As long as he works with Chris, there won't be a B2K. So J-Boog is very adamant. As long as Omarion is over there with Chris, done. We will do no business with that. No. There will be no B2K feature on Omarion if he stay over there. He got to leave like we did. But here's the thing. They didn't leave. They didn't leave. Chris kicked them out of the group. All of them. He kicked all three of them out of the group and kept his cash cow, Omarion. Because he know that Omarion's the lead singer. So it makes sense to keep the solo act that, no different than the Beyonce. It's like, you're going to kick everybody out the group. Keep Beyonce. I would say keep Beyonce and Kelly. But because Kelly's a star. Like, I don't care. Kelly's a star. I love Michelle too. Michelle is a star as well. I'm just saying, like, entertainment value, entertainment wise, Michelle ain't giving it up like Beyonce. She's not. So I'm not going to have her compete where she don't compare. Michelle ain't never been no type of Beyonce type of performer. She's never been that. No, 2 left feet, all of that. Love Michelle down, but she's not. No, you're not. But you can put Beyonce and Kelly on stage. Kelly is very entertaining. Kelly is very talented. So yeah, you can put them neck and neck. You can put Beyonce on this stage and she destroys, and you can put Kelly on the other stage and she will annihilate. Kelly will execute. Michelle, lay you down, girl. Extremely talented, beautiful vocalist, all of that good stuff. But entertainment wise, like the dancing and all of that, they got it. They've been doing it longer, girl. They've been doing this since they was literally children, so their two-step is a little different. But yeah, so of course he kept Omarion because Omarion was a cash cow. He was the lead vocalist. So him going on tour, he could still sing B2K songs, and whatnot. And the problem at that point in time, I feel, was Ras B. In 2007, the same year that B2K broke up was the same year that Ras B came out with the allegations. Ras B had came out with the allegations, I believe, a year prior. There were certain things said to certain people about coming forward because Chris has been to court about allegations before. So that's one thing that I really can't stand about him, is that he makes it seem as if he hasn't been to court for this before. You have. You absolutely have been. You have, and there are certain settlements that you made with people and whatnot. So let's not do that. So let's keep reading the breakup. So continues J-Boog, we're parting right now to get the business together, to work it out and see if it's going to stay together or if it's not going to break, or if it's going to break up. J-Boog, Lil Fizz, and Ras B said that the alleged business in properties they've discovered at Stokes' company explained their parting. Omarion doesn't believe that the split is about management. He says, Okay. He says, is it switch over to the side? I think so. It's about them wanting to do solo projects. Yes. I'm glad I can go on record and set everything straight, says Omarion. It is true that B2K broke up, but it's not about me leaving or them leaving. It's about us growing up and wanting to do our own thing. We have been together since we were 14 years old. The guys are like my brothers, and I love them and only wish the best for them in everything they do. But the time was coming that we were all focused on our solo projects. Then we were in a group. We were in a group. You can't be a tight unit when everyone is more concerned with their own stuff than they are in the group. Continues Omarion. Fizz is done with his solo record, and Ras has been working on his album and managing some artists. And I have been working on my new movie and my new solo record. So at that time, he was doing like Fat Albert, and stuff like that. And the not Omarion, it's corny. He had been doing his album O and working on movies like Fat Albert, and stuff like that. Here's the thing. Omarion, you're not telling the truth. You're not telling the truth at all. And with him saying, okay, let's go back to right here. He said, being together since we're 14, growing up, blah, blah, blah. Focus on our own solo projects. You can't be a tight unit when everyone is more concerned about their own stuff than the group. Omarion, you were technically the only person that was doing a true solo project within that time. So Chris Stokes is already gearing, to make you solo. And it's not a coincidence that all of them are gone and they're saying that they don't want anything to do with Chris Stokes. And then you coming forward saying, we're just growing apart. No. All three of the guys said they don't have a problem with you. Like you said, you don't have a problem with him. They don't have a problem with you either. Okay. But Omarion needs to tell the truth. Omarion, the reason Omarion, the reason you stayed and left the group, because you left the group, because Chris Stokes kicked everybody else out, okay? Meaning that he was keeping you and getting rid of all of them, okay? I believe the reason Omarion stayed and didn't want nothing to do with the guys is because Chris Stokes told Omarion that J-Boog slept with his mom. Yes. I think that's why Omarion went completely against them and felt like all of them betrayed him except for Chris. If you remember on Love and Hip Hop, April Jones stated herself that J-Boog slept with Omarion's mom, but that was already out there. And it was allegedly underage. I believe J-Boog was 16 or 17 or something like that when it happened. This is when they were on tour because Omarion's mom was the hair braider on tour. Mm-hmm. She was. She braided Omarion's hair. Nobody else braided Omarion. Nobody else did Omarion's hair. Only his mom. He would not allow anybody else to touch his hair but his mom. So she got to go on tour because of it. And in the process, got close, really close, to J-Boog. And she allegedly slept with J-Boog. Now, one thing I'll say about Omarion's mom has been beautiful for a very long time. So back then, she was stunning. She was beautiful, gorgeous. Like when Omarion was like 14, 15, 16, his mom was a dime piece. Like his mom was fine. Very so much. She was fine. And then allegedly certain things transpired and, things kind of changed. But she was beautiful. Beautiful. Long, beautiful hair, just beautiful body. She's beautiful. So, yeah. So I believe that's why Omarion left. Didn't mind leaving him in the dust because allegedly Chris told him that his mom and J-Boog were cadoodling. And yeah, that was a problem. Yeah. So she was probably mid-20s, early 30s, something like that. Back then. She was beautiful. Not saying that because I'm just saying I can understand a boy being hot to trot after her. But as an adult, you would, if your son 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, you know better. Not to be, And I think that was another reason why Omarion would kind of be really extremely neutral when April and his mom would go at it because he knew what April knew because he told her. She didn't find that out in the streets. April found that out from Omarion. Omarion told her that. Guys, on the reunion of Love and Hip Hop that featured J-Boog, she stated that J-Boog and Leslie, which is Omarion's mom, slept together. Wow, they were in the group. Okay, they broke up in 2007, so that means that would have happened before then. Okay. They were just about to hit adulthood when the group broke up. So whenever it happened, that's why I said J-Boog, 9 times out of 10, he was a minor, because they broke up in 2007. So they didn't get back together until years later, over 10, I believe. 10, almost 15 years later. So I believe that's why he stayed, because he felt like Chris Stokes was being loyal to him by telling him this information is what it gives. You can trust me because this is stuff you need to know. Because I think it was a hard decision for Omarion to make. And I think Chris needed something to push Omarion over the edge, something to make him feel like you do not need to be in B2K. He had to turn Omarion against the boys. Chris was very mean to these guys, very strict, and the weirdest type of strict, how he was with them, all to manipulate them, strict in a way to keep them manipulated and controlled, is what he did, from their diets to just, everything. He put these boys through hell, literally. They, back in the day when they had those bodies, it's because they ate Boca burgers and, stuff like that, which Boca burgers taste like nothing. That he would starve them at times too. He would starve them and do it in a way, starve them in a way to where they won't realize they're being starved. They were not allowed to eat meat, no meat. They were not allowed to have any sweets. And imagine being a kid, you a teenager, if you want some Flamin' Hot, you want some Flamin' Hot. It's I want some Flamin' Hot and I want some cheese on them too. What do you? They weren't allowed to do none of that stuff. None of that. So he ruined, their teen years. They were supposed to remain abstinent. None of them were supposed to be having or anything like that. He was very controlling of the boys. So, and then when you're not reaping the benefit from it, it's different. You're going through all of these things and, your life is, great, but like, well, you're the other side of your life, is great, but to be doing all of this stuff and it's like you're not reaping any of the benefits. You're just being treated like trash, and your family's still struggling and all of that. So it's just so yeah. So let's keep going. Okay, try unit continues on. Okay, Fizz is done with his solo record, and Ras has been working on his album and managing some artists, and I have been working on my new movie and my solo record. It was just time for all of. Hold on. Is it going back to? I bet you I gotta go back to the side. Time for all. Okay, where that's at. Okay, B2K. Okay, right here. It was just time for all of B2K to do their own thing. Stokes told Jet that he has no idea why the group no longer wants to work with him and why they didn't, and that he didn't know that they were unhappy with management. You see what I'm saying? You see why I just hate him? Like, so all of them know, but you don't. So everybody know why they don't want to work with you. Because the three guys, Ras, Fizz, and Boog, they were all in unison. They all felt the same way. Okay? So for them to all feel the same way, what do you mean you have no idea? So who was in these business meetings and whatnot? They didn't blindside you. They didn't. What happened is it was more so of an ultimatum given. I believe that J-Boog, Lil Fizz, and Ras B were all ready to come forward and say what Chris Stokes had took them through. There's interviews, you go watch my survivings. There's interviews that J-Boog, Fizz, and Raz did, and J-Boog, you could tell he was getting really close to saying what happened. He said that because I believe, because he said the word financial, but then he said the R word after. He's like, he financially R-worded us. I'm like, so you could tell that he was fumbling on his words within that moment in time. He didn't mean to say the word at all. But it's like his conscience is, when somebody's asking you the reason you mad about something, and you mad about something for multiple reasons, but there's one reason that you don't want to talk about. So you'll try to suppress that reason. You'll try to suppress it and focus your points on everything else. Like the management wasn't good, the money wasn't right, this and that. But if something traumatic happened to you, something you're trying to bury, get rid of, suppress, you're going to keep trying to do so. But sometimes it has a way of just coming out. And I believe during that interview, it was coming out. And coming out in a way to where when J-Boog said that, it felt like freeing to him. And he was ready to say more. You could tell. He was ready to say more. That's why I believe that Chris contacted them to work things out, because Chris would contact them multiple times. Like, hold on. I'll let show proof. Okay, right. Where's TMZ? Right here. Ras B hanging is B2K's Ras B is hanging with Chris Stokes. He then recanted serious allegations of R-word against former manager Chris Stokes just last week. So why was B2K member Ras B chilling with Stokes last night? Damage control, anyone? That's literally what it says. It's not about, in my opinion, Ras B recanting. It's not about that, because we know he's telling the truth. It's not about the recanting. It's that if somebody was making those type of allegations about you, why would you want to be near them? See, with Chris Stokes having these allegations on him against his cousin, that's horrible and like deplorable. So why would Chris even want to be near Ras B? Not Ras B. That's not the question. Ras B's not the accused. Why would the accused want to be near said person? Absolutely. Think back to Cassie after Kim Porter passed away and she met up with him. Knowing what we know now, she was running from him. And then something like that happened. Because it's always, when Cassie's lawsuit came out, I changed my complete opinion on how I felt about Kim Porter. Now, allegedly, in my opinion, I feel like he ended Kim Porter's life to bring Cassie out of hiding. He couldn't find her. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. And Kim was already allegedly writing a book and whatnot, so got to get rid of her anyway. So now I'm thinking maybe that's connected. Maybe it's connected that you ended her because of certain things she was doing. She was already on the chopping block, and you needed to find Cassie. You couldn't find her. So you ended Kim, somebody you already felt was disposable. You didn't want her. In the 90s, you did, when she was a trophy. But it's just like, well, maybe that's connected. Maybe it's because he wanted to bring Cassie out of hiding because he knows how Cassie felt about her. He know that, her and Cassie were close. Cassie's a beautiful soul, and so was Kim. So it makes sense that they would have, a decent rapport with one another. So, yeah. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's connected. Maybe he used Kim as bait as well, allegedly, just in my opinion. Because I'm like, well, hearing that lawsuit, I think it is completely different now. Because he's been obsessed with, he literally basically left Kim for Cassie publicly. So yeah, I'm like crazy. So I feel like this is the same thing. When Ras B goes back on statements, it's because of certain things. Chris calling him, buttering him up. I'm going to make your life easier. I'm not like that no more. I mean, he was literally caught on red-handed saying on the phone that he's not like that no more. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't have to specify. We get it. Because he's stating it about the conversation at hand. The conversation at hand is that you were touching them. You were doing things that you weren't supposed to be doing. You were inwarding them. Like you were doing that. This is a topic at hand. And so to say, I'm not like that no more. I don't do that anymore. Okay, well, it's pertaining to what's being discussed. So you're saying that you don't do that anymore. Meaning that you did do it. You just not anymore. So you feel like because you're religious now and that you go to church and stuff like that, that since God has forgiven you, everybody else should too. Even Jesus was crucified. Jesus didn't have to go through crucifixion. He didn't have to go through that. God could have stopped that at any moment. He allowed it because it was necessary. Okay? Paying for something, although he didn't do it. So Jesus was innocent. An innocent person passed away for what we've done. Okay, so if Jesus, an innocent, had to pay, why do you think you don't ask the guilty? Like you're guilty. and you keep throwing religion on stuff like that's cool. It's not, and it stains the religion. Because there's nothing wrong with being a Jehovah's Witness and the Jehovah's beliefs or anything like that, but it's people like you that taint it because you know your reputation and you like to throw religion at it, throw religion on top of everything, which is disgusting because now you are tainting something that is pure, something that is good. Because Jehovah and Jehovah's Witnesses have nothing to do with you and your behavior. You and your behavior is not what Jehovah's Witnesses do. That's what Christopher Brian Stokes decided to do. He does not speak on Jehovah's Witnesses. He don't speak on none of them at all. It's like I don't speak on a Christian if a Christian does that. No. No. That's not what Christians do. That's what that person did. It's not what pastors do. That's what that pastor did. It's not what priests do. That's what that priest did. Like that, no. So it's what you did. You did that. Damaging people for your benefit and feeling like you can just walk away because you threw a little bit of money at the situation. No, that's why Ras B has demons because he was chose. And I don't know if Ras B realizes that. When I call him king, that's why I call you king, because you were chose. Out of all of the people that were affected by Chris Stokes, you are the Me Too. You are the person that God chose to end it. That's why you have these dreams and the other stuff, and then sometimes you're running, you're this, you're that, because you have work to do. You have work to do. And there's a huge blessing at the end of it. You just keep avoiding it. Because of all these pressures and stuff that, you know, and the people, and again, this is your family. And I think that's why God bestowed it upon you. Because who better to believe than his own flesh and blood? Who better? Who better to come forward and end it? You. I feel like he chose you. And that's why you can't get away from it, Ras B. That's why you can't get away from it. Because you were chose. This is what you were supposed to do. That's why you're still here. Because everybody else said, oh, he say something, they're going to end him. He's still here. That's for a reason. You're protected. And you bet Kristen sent his best after you. He sent his best after you. Quindon passing away should have been a sign to you, Raz. That should have been a sign. A sign. And not just a sign as in maybe Chris has something to do with it. More so of a sign that one of the truth tellers is gone. It's up to you now. It's up to you now. Quindon did what he was supposed to do. That's why his name is still being spoke of today. Because he did what he was supposed to do. He did. Absolutely. He did. He did what he was supposed to do. You haven't. You're not finished. You're not done. That's why this keeps coming up. It keeps coming up because I think God keeps trying to give you the opportunity to end it. Because it's going to take Ras B. It's going to take him. Only Ras can end this. Like Monyee can come forward and speak, but she's not the true victim. A victim is innocent all the way around. All the way around. Monyee could even be looked at as not innocent because she's known. So a lot of people would kind of side-eye her and be like, okay, well, you could have been doing something. A lot of people are going to have questions. You know, it just is what it is. But with somebody like Ras B, no. There's not many questions. And Ras B has been through the most. There's people, not only has J-Boog did crazy things to affect J-Boog, but others have too. I mean, back in the day, Young Jock made a song literally making fun of Ras B's trauma, like put it in a song. No, Chris, no. Ras B looking boy, like, wow. So he's been through a lot. He's been through a lot. And for a reason. Because if Ras B couldn't handle it, he wouldn't be able to. He has. He's handling it. He's managing. And that's easier said than done. So, yeah, I think that Ras has more work to do. He does. And he has people like me and others that I think God's in his way to make sure that whatever assistance that he needs is there. So it's provided, whatever he needs. He knows that. People like Jason Lee and many other people have tried to help Ras with his story. I think every time he gets 2 steps ahead with the story, I believe is when Chris reaches out. I do. And we got to stop looking at Ras B as a situation to where it's about money. I really don't think it's about that. I think with Ras B and Chris Stokes, Ras B was not raised by his father. His mother struggled with drug use. Chris raised him. Very early age. He raised him. So he looks at Chris as a father. He does. That's why the hurt and pain, it's so twisted. The love-hate. The one moment, despise the person, and then the next moment, you miss him. How do you hate your family? See, this is the whole part where the whole narcissism comes in and the manipulation, because Chris has manipulated Ras into feeling like he owes him something. Taking him while young, putting something in his lap, now you owe me. Because if not for me, none of this. Not for me, you wouldn't this. Not for me, not for me, not for me. And that stuck with Ras. And I think it still does to this day. So you feel like you owe the person. And the abusers to me do that deliberately, and more so for you to keep the secret. For you to keep the secret. You know, because if you can't instill fear, if fear is not going to make a person not tell, then it has to be love. It has to be love. Because sometimes you love a person so much to where you will overlook things. You'll completely overlook it, just because you love them. So I think what Ras B has been through when it came to, Chris, I think that's what happens. I think he loves him, so it's Stockholm, it's not easy. It's a battle, and what Ras coming forth this last time when he was in the hospital and whatnot, and he was basically doing an outcry to Chris and saying that, like, I miss you, I need Chris, I need my family, and whatnot. I think that his mind is going back to, well, the last time I actually felt safe, I was with the person that hurt me. The last time he felt love, Ras has been isolated pretty much from the whole family, due to what he came forward and said about Chris, because Chris is like the family star. He won with all the bread, all the money, successful movies, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. So the family looks to Chris, the whole family, not just, Ras and whatnot. So, I mean, Ras and Ricky, the whole family, looks to him. So, and you know how it is with family, the one who, because family, we the type of people that still be cool with that person because, they, helping us and, and stuff like that. But at the same time, with the family member that does feel away, you still kind of reach out to them or have a small relationship with them, even sometimes agree with them, but don't do anything. That's not helpful to the victim. Like, you sitting here agreeing with me and saying that you know how I feel and blah, 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 but you still deal with that person. Like, so that don't really help. I feel like it kind of makes it worse. To be like, not you agree with me. It's like you would kind of rather them disagree with you, because then it will make sense and why they're still cool with the person. But for them to say that I believe you and I think that what you're saying is true, and for them to still be around that person, that doesn't make sense. It's hurtful. And I think a lot of people aren't willing to admit that. So yeah, I just don't get, that's why I don't judge Ras B. That's why I don't get why other people do too, because this is deep. Like, this runs very deep. Shout out to Melanie. She says the closest to you will hurt you. Mostly sad. Correct. That is very true. Very true. Shout out to you. Remember, shout out to Sasha. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Shout out to my boo Danny Lynn. Shout out to Danny Lynn. Shout out to Sunshine. New member. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I've been trying to catch y'all because I love you guys. I love you guys. But yeah, so that's why I never really gave Ras B too much like flack, you know. About his, because again, this is his family and he goes back and forth. So yeah, I get it. Poor guy. So let's keep going. So let's read this. Why not? Let's read this. Okay. Chris Stokes, M-word TUG family. Okay. Wow, you must watch these videos. They are former B2K member Ras B confronting Marcus Houston's family and Chris Stokes about the conduct going on at TUG Entertainment Group, which consists of B2K, Marcus Houston, Immature, IMX, and others. I was a big fan of Immature back in the day, but this comes as no surprise. Cover your arse after the commute. So now these are the viral videos. That's the main reason I'm pulling this up, because these are the viral videos of Marcus Houston being outed by Ras B. They are off of the internet. Do not fear, I still have them. And I have them all. So you try Chris. So Chris and Marcus Houston finally were successful in getting the videos removed. I just want y'all to know that because they're gone now. So if you didn't see them, shout out to my survivings because they're definitely in there. But that is gone now, and I want y'all to know that they finally, I believe, like last year, successfully got them taken down. They have been trying for years to get them down, to no avail. Do y'all remember when? Because we'll get into that tomorrow. Do y'all remember? I'm gonna give y'all some juice. When Ras B came forward and told Chris Stokes to take a polygraph test about the allegations. Well, Orion, which is Omarion's brother, he came forward. This is why I said it doesn't matter what Ras B ever said, like if he like recanting or whatnot, because other people know the truth. Other people know. So Orion came forward and agreed and said that Chris Stokes should take the polygraph test because Orion has always been a supporter of Ras B and has always supported Ras B in his story when it came to Chris Stokes. Now, with people saying like, oh, okay, well, why would Orion come forward? Why would Orion, you know, not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. Hold on. Boom. Let's get into why. Okay. Well, because okay, I'm gonna read this because it's the same information. There, I want to show this one too because it's the same thing. Hold on, because you know some people be like, "Oh, well, that's not real." It's totally real. So, is this it? Okay, yeah. Click to expand. Okay, yeah, this is too. Okay. Oh no, I think this is another one. Oh, is it? Okay, well, let me pull this one up. Okay. So, because this one is about it too. I like to have multiple sources. So here's the source too. So this is a blog back in the day about the people that Chris Stokes allegedly was doing stuff with, the guys, the famous people. As you see, Quentin Tarver's on the list, but Orion is on the list too. And let's get into the reason why Orion, and this was back in, what was this, 2006? 2007. So right here, let's get into these about Orion and Chris Stokes. So, and here's the story on little old Orion, Omarion's little brother. I guess this goes without saying. Rumor has it, Omarion's mother pimped Omarion off first. And when Orion got a little older, she pimped him off to Chris Stokes too. Now, I don't know nothing about that being true. Could be. I don't know. Seems more like rumor to me. But anyways, Omarion's mother is rumored to have been braiding hair in LA on Pico Street for $20 during the days of B2K, even though they were one of the biggest acts of the year. She was also said to be smoking crack And Chris Stokes stepped in and took little Orion into his home and promised him a career in music. Now, I will say this. Leslie, Omarion's mom, I've never heard her story about doing drugs or anything like that, but it would explain how she went from looking how she looked when B2K first started to how she looks now, because they are completely different. And it does seem as if there was something that it does. So it's completely believable. Now, I'm not just going to say something to just say it. I believe that this is very possible, like 100%. Because if you look at her from the early 2000s or mid 2000s, like 2005 to 2015, stunning. Well, no, I'm going to say 2015, about 2010, stunning. But after that, with certain things, how she talks, and when she was on Love and Hip Hop, I was like, who is that? I'm like, no bull. No bull. I was like, that's Leslie? I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, what happened? Like, wow. So, okay. Now, another reason I can believe this is because this is the same thing Chris Stokes did for Ricky Romance and for Ras B. He did the same thing. He brought them in while their mom was suffering from, and he got custody of them basically, and guardianship over them, and kept them, basically until they got grown, pretty much. So yeah. And so here we go. So, okay. Here we're okay. Took little Ryan to his home and promised him a career in music. We can't speculate on what happened, but little Ryan called one of his mother's friends, guy friends, to pick him up one night, and he was crying in the car. The guy friend also had was also a crackhead, and didn't care to ask why Orion was crying. Sadly, Orion's music career never really did anything extraordinary. So hopefully Chris Stokes has lost interest in little kids. So I'll say this. Now, Orion did do one video back in the day. It was a cute song, cute video. And I believe he did one. They put him at the end, like a clip of his video at the end of one of the B2K videos, to like push him and get him traction, and whatnot. So he had a little debut and did a video. It was a cute video. It was cute. And because I think Orion and I like around the same age. So yeah, take it slow. Yes. Shout out to you, Caleb. Yes. So yeah, so he had a little song, and then Orion just kind of like disappeared after that. He kind of just disappeared. And I mean, he did, but he didn't. Because of course him and Janae dated, had a child, and all that good stuff. So I mean, he wasn't gone, but he was like behind the scenes. It's like we, didn't see him. But musically and anything like that, he disappeared. Now, allegedly, during one of the sleepovers that Chris Stokes would have for the male artist, let me prove that real quick. Sammy, who ended up being Dallas Austin's project, was initially going to be working with Chris Stokes. Rumor has it, Chris Stokes, Marcus Houston, and a few others threw initiation parties with young talented boys to see how far they can go. Evidently, things didn't go very far with Sammy, because in the middle of the night during the sleepover initiation, Sammy called his older cousin to come and pick him up from Stokes' home. Everybody calls to get out of there. Wow, what a pattern. Now, Sammy did admit that he did go to a gathering, an overnight gathering that he was invited to, but he wasn't invited by Chris Stokes. He was invited by Marcus Houston. And he did say that he did leave. Now, Sammy didn't go into why, but he did say that he left because he was supposed to, like, basically being pushed to be signed to TUG. So when Sammy got picked up that night, TUG was no longer an option. No different with Orion. So both of these men admit to leaving your home and to not wanting anything to do with you. Sammy never had any dealings with Chris. Neither did because Sammy was even asked to be in the group B2K, and he didn't want to be in it. He didn't want to be in B2K. So I'm guessing that's because of Chris. But yeah, he didn't want to be in B2K. So I believe Orion, when he came forward and agreed with Raz and told Chris Stokes to take the polygraph test, I think it's because this story is true. Now, exactly what happened, only Orion knows. But the story is true. He did leave Chris's home. He did. And he did not go back to Chris's house. He didn't. And he was allegedly staying there. So he wasn't like coming over for the night. Sammy was coming over for the night. And invited by Marcus. So, but Orion basically lived there. So y'all remember the How I'm Living days and the crib days, the MTV crib days? One of the houses that they showed the B2Ks was not theirs. That was not their home. But two of them was the properties that Chris Stokes owned. So when Sammy's being invited over thinking that he was going to hang out at Marcus Houston's house, with like Marcus Houston's friends and like B2K, and stuff like that. No. Whole nother story when he get there. He get there knocking on the door. Chris open the door because Chris is very controlling. Hold on, do I have that article? Let me look. Hold on. Yes, I'm sure I have it. Let's read that. Hold on, to show y'all how controlling Chris was. So if Marcus was inviting anybody over or anything like that, Chris was controlling the entire situation. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. So let's read this. Why not? Let's read this. So, okay. All right. Have been getting PMs as to what I know about Marcus Houston and Chris Stokes and TUG. I was on another board and Chris and Marcus' homosexual relationship came up. They have been involved for many years, and here is my response for those loyal fans who do not believe. Being around TUG was like being in Sodom and Gomorrah. They used the worst tactics on those kids: brainwashing, threats, sexual and physical abuse. Hell, I was there when Taz socked the out of Kelton from Immature because he did not hear the command she was giving him when he was 12 at the time. So the woman I showed y'all earlier, which I can pull her back up. Hold on, let me pull her up. Hold on, let me pull her up. Hold on. Here she go right here. So here's Taz. Okay. Taz is allegedly the one who also took Ras B's virginity and whatnot. And she was very, very, very mean. Everybody from TUG said that she was extremely strict, that she would threaten you, and that she would carry out on said threats. Literally. That's why a lot of the women, the girl groups, were petrified of her. Even Omar Epps' wife, she even, or is it Omar Epps? No, Omar Epps, that's a girl from Total. No, not her. Not him. But yeah, she was very mean, very strict, and she would put her hands on people. She absolutely would. She would put her hands in a group. She would. She absolutely would. So let me pull this back up, get back. I just want to put a face to the name. So the woman here in the scarf and blazer, that is Taz. So when you hear her name, that's who they're talking about. Let me pull that back up. Okay. Now let's get back. Okay. I remember. All right. Make that bigger. Sorry, so you guys can see it in real long if you want. Save your own TV. Okay. Okay. The command, because he was 12 at the time. I remember Chris threatening to ruin your career if you didn't do what he wanted. All of the artists that were not put out for him or Taz, they got rid of, which is very true. Very true. Very true. Yeah, If you wasn't putting out, you have to get out. Like, it's no different than going to a party and you got some dudes that are just like sleazeballs, and they be like, look, if y'all might as well leave. They were the same way. Both of them, Taz and Chris Stokes. Okay, they got rid of. That's why they didn't have any adult artist, and that is very, very true. Nobody they signed was over the age of 18. Fact. Everybody was young. Everybody. No one was over the age of 18. No one. And then when they would start to age out, when they would start to get older, or if they were older, he would probably give them like one album, and that would be it. But other than that, he did not have any adult artist. Everybody was teenagers, preteens or teenagers. Absolutely. Marianne said out of his own mouth, we've been together since we were 14. Now, we've been together since we were 17, 18. No, we've been together since we were 14 years old. So, yeah. Janae, when she was first put in the group, girl, they had to remove her from the group because she was way too young. And she looked it. She looked like a little girl. Although they put like makeup on her and stuff like that, Janae still looked like a child. So they had to remove her from the group because she looked too young to mesh with her sisters, because the other girls in the group, she was late to everybody in the group. So but yeah, they had to remove her. Everybody was a minor. Everybody. Janae, all of them, they were all minors. All of them. So that is fact. I witnessed all that I needed to for several years. So remember, this is someone speaking from experience, someone that was there, somebody that saw everything that they are saying. They're wishing to stay anonymous, but the tea that they have, you could tell it's real. Like, and this is from a long time ago. So from the time Chris lived with Marcus Houston, Marcus at his house in Crenshaw area, to the house he shared with his mama in Northridge, to Chris' house in Sherman Oaks, to the condo he shared with Taz in Studio City, to the house he had in Colfax. So again, facts. I researched it. I remember when he discovered Quindon from Texas. Quindon was sweet and innocent, and he dressed like a country Cabbage Patch doll with a big afro, and he loved to flirt with girls. It was cute. After Chris got through with him, he was a slick little pervert. Whoa. Real aggressive with females, and he was barely a preteen. I found out later that he acted out like that to prove that he wasn't gay. Oh, Quindon. Oh. It's like once the other artists got turned out, Chris and the crew would use that as blackmail for the artists to stay down. I know for those who don't know, this seems crazy. How could they get away with turning these little innocent kids out? Chris is a master manipulator. Taz is a master intimidator. And money will make us turn and look the other way. When I was around them, it always seemed whenever I came around, I just had missed something. It was always being done on the low. I could never put my finger on it. Okay, so this is someone that was saying that when I was coming around, it seemed like something had always just happened. Like there was something going on, or something, or just a one boy, or just one person, and him out here with a room with just one. It always looked like something had just happened every time I came in, right? So let's keep going. So this person, obviously, they didn't want to see anything, because that's what I'm getting from the statement. The statement says, it always seemed like every time I came around, I just missed something. So, and couldn't put their finger on it. So they obviously did not see. I never wanted to think bad about them. So I always thought I was tripping. Or if you spoke on something, Chris would turn everything around on you. Narcissistic. narcissists, that's what they do, and say things in such a way it would make you say, how could I ever think anything wrong about him? Well, fellow board members, I was bamboozled. I am so mad at this. I tried to put these memories and them out of my memory. It's like the more I type, the more I'm remembering. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell all you TUG fans, y'all buying into a fantasy. Them inners ain't right. I have been on tour with them and heard them talk ish about the fans. Chris used to put fat girls on stage as a joke for Immature and B2K to sing to, and everybody backstage would be laughing and making fun. Now, I remember I think it was Romeo when Marcus Houston had said something about Mia Houston. This was like a year and a half ago. And Romeo from Immature got so annoyed and so upset with Marcus that he said something against Marcus and Mia's union and their relationship and whatnot. He also alluded to how things like this would happen back in the day. How y'all would basically, he was saying like how Marcus will show y'all one thing and make y'all think one thing about him, but in the background he'd be a whole nother person. Like he giving a whole nother energy. You know, he'll come out here like, oh, I love y'all, I love y'all, I love y'all, but then leave the stage and complain and be like, those because wasn't even cheering for us, and this wasn't this, and this mother wasn't this, and and then they had a whole bunch of ugly just in the front row, you know, so basically, you know, stuff like that. So he called him out on it. So that's what I'm saying. This information that this person has is true. Like they are telling the truth, and so vividly to where you know it's like they had to have been there. So, but let's keep going. Chris used to put fat girls on the stage as a joke for Immature and B2K to sing to. Everybody backstage would be laughing and making fun. Or when would fans ask for a pic or autograph, the guys, IMX and B2K with Chris, would be clowning the fans who were less desirable to them. Crazy. I was there when Beyonce came to Chris and Marcus's house to kick it with Marcus, and he referred to kicking it with Chris. He referred to, I think they meant preferred, to kick it with Chris in Chris's bedroom. Now, if you remember back in the day, Destiny's Child was on Sister Sister, and they were on Smart Guy. Okay. He played Roger on Sister Sister. Okay. So he met Beyonce multiple times. And not only that, they produced tracks for Destiny's Child. So Beyonce came over to hang with him. And he hung out in the room with Chris the whole time. Couldn't have been me. You wouldn't have been able to get me out of Beyonce face. And I'm a girl. You wouldn't have been able to get me out her face, girl. I would have been there. Bills. Girl, let me be in the group, girl. So yeah, she would. So you got Beyonce act over here to come see you, and you stuck in the room with Chris Stokes. Beyonce, tell us what you know, girl. So that's what I heard. That's what it says. It's, I was there when Beyonce came to Chris and Marcus' house to kick it with Marcus, and he preferred to kick it with Chris in Chris's bedroom, and be sitting there with LaToya and Jerome from IMX, wondering why he won't spend time with her. I remember the times Chris and his, now this is pre-Jay-Z. This is pre-Jay-Z. This is in the 90s. So this pre-Jay-Z, they're not together yet. They don't even know each other yet. Type of situation. So, you know, this one, Beyonce was, you know, Destiny's Child was blowing up, you know, and whatnot. And Beyonce she did hang out with Immature. If you go watch the Cribs episodes or the How I'm Living episodes, you'll see the Destiny's Child plaques in the house. So They were in close quarters with Destiny's Child. And Romeo, back in the day, if you go look, there are a lot of pictures of Romeo and LaToya. So I don't know if they were dating or getting to the point of dating, but they, they had a little fling. And Beyonce and Marcus Houston used to hang out too, but it wasn't serious, or anything like that. Just kind of hanging out to get to know each other. And back in the day, that's how they did with publicity, hooking artists up with people so they can be seen out in the public or not, merge the fan bases, and stuff like that. So obviously that's what Chris was on. But let's keep going. So okay, LaToya, okay, Jerome from IMX. Wondering why he won't spend time with her. I remember the times Chris and his sister Smooth would get drunk on tour and start making sexual advances to the same sexes. Chris used to get immature to drink and Smooth used to F the female dancers. Smooth is a freak. My homeboy got her on tape drunk 69 and a girl at a party. She is also on tape in a song with a girl and R. Kelly. Now, Smooth, which is Chris Stokes' sister, she used to be a rapper. Okay, I've done a surviving on her too. We discussed her. She used to be a rapper, and it was rumored that even her and Chris had something going on. I bullshit you not. And it's believable because, he was doing things with Ras B and Ricky Romance. Those are his cousins. So, girl, they said that Chris and Smooth were extremely close. Extremely close. But allegedly, they're girl. So in that bag of tapes, Chris Stokes' sister is on one of those tapes. And I'm my girl. Let's keep going. Girl. So okay. So okay. Yeah, you remind me. Okay. So Chris tried to turn out Montego. He was signed, which we talked about Montego yesterday. He was signed to MCA at 14, was supposed to be the next Bobby Brown. But when he couldn't get him, surely, he turned him into drugs. That little boy turned out to be a kid. Montego has suffered from, you could tell. You can tell when somebody's like in recovery, you can tell. So I'm like, this person is spitting facts. They really are. Okay, I know this because I saw him in New Orleans asking for money for some. This was after Chris got Monteco's recording and marketing budgets, used them and him up, and then dumped him. Chris has a knack for signing artists to deals and making the budgets and spending it on himself and his family. That's why you don't see a single one of the videos from most of his acts. I remember the group Girl. Taz turned out one of the girls, and Marcus got another one of them, the lead singer, pregnant. She had the baby, by the way. Now, allegedly, Mila J, which was the lead, which was Janae's sister, had a baby by Marcus Houston. Now, here's the thing. Ricky Romance agreed that Marcus and Mila's even admitted it too, that they dated. It was rumored that she did have a baby. It by Marquez. And Chris was livid. And I'm my girl. So okay, she had a baby, by the way. Now I wrote all this to say those people are so far from perfect that it don't make no sense. The problem is when they perceive themselves to be so perfect that the fans will take it further by believing that they are. Those who are in the industry are privy to certain info. You would not believe how many celebrities are gay, but pretend not to be just to keep fans and get the fans' money. You would not believe how many pervs there are. R. Kelly is just the tip of the iceberg. What y'all think why y'all think he hasn't gone to trial yet? I can understand. Now, see, I could tell this is what wrote a long time ago. I could tell y'all some ish for real. You would not believe how many schizos are in the industry. Houston is just the tip of the iceberg. Y'all will not believe the celebrities out there with the sicknesses. And I'm not going to start on how many believe they have diseases. The industry is a big arse, and all of them miserable. Okay, so there's a lot of cursing going on. So I wanted to get through this because there's much more. We're going to get into that tomorrow. I read this to let y'all know that I believe this is Monyee. Mm-hmm. This is why my title is Chris, because I know y'all wondering, like, well, Monyee never said that Chris slept with Marcus Houston. Yes, she did. This is Monyee. For years, I've been trying to figure out who this is because I'm like, they are telling the truth. I'm like, who is this? I believe it's Monyee. Monyee's been around for everything. I believe it's Monyee. In my personal opinion, I believe who wrote this many years ago was Monyee. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I believe Monyee wrote this. And the reason why is the person just knows way too much. And again, December 26, 2007, the year that B2K broke up. Not only was this the year that B2K broke up, it was also the year that Monyee and Chris Stokes separated. Mm-hmm. They separated in 2007. They were no longer together in 2007. They married in 2004. This was, again, written in 2007. The divorce was finalized in 2009. So I believe it's Monyee. I'm like, Monyee, I think you wrote this. Because you know everything. And you have been there for everything. That's why I said I believe that Monyee is going to say something about Quentin Tarver, and Monte, because this person did. To know those addresses and whatnot, you would have had to have been there because 2 of them aren't even listed. I had to literally like reverse search and all that to find out. I'm like, oh my God, Chris Stokes does own this property. I'm like, whoever this is telling the truth. I'm like, they're not lying. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I think it's Monyee. I really do. I think Monyee wrote this in 2007. Correct. Not only did B2K break up in 2007, Ras B came out with his claims in 2007. Correct. It all went down, which gives her more reason to leave Chris. Right? Because you got to think, 2007. Ras B came out with those allegations in 2007. They got divorced in 2009. Divorces take time. I believe Monyee left Chris because of Ras. Do you have a picture of his mom? Whose mom? Whose mom? Whose mom? Yeah. So I think she left Chris because of Ras. No, they got married in 2004. They didn't break up in 2004. They got married in 2004. You can go back to her post. Her post says that she married him in 2004. The literal first sentence is that they got married in 2004. They got divorced in 2009. Hold on. can prove it. I can prove it. I can supersize it. Where is market? No, I don't want that right. Okay, is this it? Oh no, just a picture of them. Okay, well, I have the divorces right here. Oh God, I got so much information. It's so annoying. And it's like everywhere. Right here. Filing dates 2009. This is divorce. Okay. Says right here. Chris Stokes and Monyee Stokes. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And they got married in 2004. So it makes sense that she left him in 2007. Correct. And divorce was made final in 2009. Mm-hmm. The separation was filed in 2007 too, though. That's another thing. Oh, we'll make sure I bring up that tea tomorrow too. She filed for separation in 2007, Monyee. And then the divorce was filed in 2009. And Chris filed for the divorce, not Monyee. Chris. He filed. Monyee filed for separation in 2007. Same year. Everything hit the fan. Same year. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the super stickers, liking the video, and all of that good stuff, and for being here and commenting. I love you all so much. I will see y'all tomorrow here on YouTube. We have more tea. We absolutely do. And I will bring receipts with me. Absolutely will. So, yes. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, y'all be good. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, I guess. Today. Justice for Quentin Tarver.